Hey, what is going on YouTube? Crobat for the win here, bringing you a battle versus dragonite93 from the Smogon Wifi Battle Finder. He's not of YouTube, but that's alright. I lead with an Espeon and go for a light screen because Empoleon uses special moves, and he goes for a Roar, which I guess he forgot about Magicance, or maybe he was trying to see what I would do and get a way to switch out, like kind of like a Volt Switch, I don't know. So that's alright. He gets roared into Exceligor, and I predicted a Bug Buzz, so I went into my Super Wall, because he is a super wall here, this fortress. So I go for the Stealth Rock on the switch as he brings in a Machamp, which is really weird because he's not using a no guard Machamp. He uses a Guts Machamp with close combat, and he actually can 2-hit KO my fortress, which is a super wall, so that's not good. I switch out, and I know I have to go into my Smiley Gengar, because you know what, Smiley Gengars are cool. And he goes for a Bullet Punch now, and with the Reflect Up, it still doesn't do all that much. I go for a counter, because you know what, even though it's all 4th gen and 3rd gen counter, you know what, it works pretty cool in 5th gen too. So I do KO it with a counter, and I switch out as he brings in Empoleon. And I knew he'd go for the Stealth Rock or something of that nature, so I did decide to go into Espeon. Now I just take this time to set up the Reflect, because you know, just getting it up would be helpful. So I still have the light screen, and that skill doesn't do all that much. Actually, the light screen wears off now. So I do decide to go for the light screen again as he just goes for Scald, and that first Scald he got a burn, which really hurt. My Espeon kind of died from it. Here I tried to see how much a Hidden Power Fighting might do. Does about a third probably after leftovers, so not that good of damage. I can't really say much about it though. I decided to switch out here in case I have to reflect something later, and I go into my what's his name, Gastrodon here, because Gastrodon's awesome. Gets a special attack raise, and I knew I could take a Grass Knot pretty nicely, even if he had it, so that was cool. I go for Nerf Power with the special attack raise, and it does a nice chunk, considering this is a defensive Gastrodon and everything. So you go to the Stealth Rock again, which is a really nice play for him, because I actually thought he might have switched, and that's why I went for the Scald. Well, the consolation there is I did get the burn, which was pretty cool, and now he's going to take some burn damage, and I know that I can just KO here, or go for... I decided to go for the Scald just in case he decided to switch, but I knew I could KO there. So I'm going to get some nice lefties back, and I'm sitting pretty good with 3/4 of my HP here. And here's an Exceligor, and I'm pretty sure these things usually carry Giga Drain. So I'm going to go on my Super Wall, which I think dual resist Giga Drain. And he has a Grass Gem, which is kind of an interesting set. Gets a lot of HP back once, so that's pretty cool. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out for him here, but anyways. He's going to send in his Gallade as I go for a Rapid Spin because I don't want those rocks. And I get a crit on the Rapid Spin, which is pretty funny. So that was funny. Now, my light screen wears off, which is unfortunate. And he goes for a sub, and I'm like, oh no, it's a sub puncher. So he's, or maybe a bulk up. I don't think he has bulk up, which is good. Thankfully, he doesn't. So I did go for the spikes, and now I have to go for the Earthquake to break the sub as he goes for a Focus Punch. But this is such a super wall that it takes the Focus Punch, and if I had full health, it would be a 3-hit KO. So he goes to the Ice Punch, and it doesn't KO. And then he gets the Freeze, and I thaw out first turn, and go for the spikes. So that was a pretty eventful turn. I can't even explain how lucky I am to just thaw out right there. So I knew he was going to switch into Wheezing, but I couldn't not risk going for the Earthquake, so that's unfortunate. I have to switch out because I can't hit Wheezing. I'm going to go into Espeon, hoping that maybe he'd go for the Will-O-Wisp, but nah, he doesn't just go for the Thunderbolt, and my Espeon dies. So I'm going to go into Gengar now, and I went for the Destiny Bond, thinking that this thing would KO. Well, he went for the Will-O-Wisp, which was a great play for him, first of all, and now I thought this thing would probably still KO me, so I go for the Destiny Bond again, and he goes for Thunderbolt. Guess what? I live with, like, I didn't even see 23 or 13 HP and died of burn, so that was pretty sad. Now, I send in my Gastrodon, because I know this is probably the best thing I can the best thing that can battle this thing. If it has a Poison-type move, I can take it. Takes Thunderbolts all day, and it wouldn't mind a Will-O-Wisp, because this isn't physical at all. So I went for the Scald last turn to get the burn. Thankfully, I did get the burn, which is pretty cool. And the thing that annoys me about this Wheezing that he has is it has the Pain Split, so I have to be careful about how much HP I have and still try to kill him off at the same time. So Scalds aren't doing all that much anyways. I mean, I wish I had that special attack raise. Nothing much I can really do though. So he's gonna withdraw here and go into a Gallade. So I went for the Scald again, and I was hoping I'd get the burn, and I actually do get the burn again. So that was pretty eventful again. That was pretty cool. So it's almost gone, and I know I can take a hit now that it's burned, Ice Punch or not. And I take it really nicely. In fact, I think even if it wasn't burned, I could have taken an Ice Punch. So I get back into green health with a recover. See, that's how much of a boss Gastrodon is, because, you know, it takes hits just as good as Swampert. Maybe a little less good, maybe. And it's more of a special wall, too. Plus, it gets recover. So he sends an Exceligor with Giga Drain, and I don't want to take one of those. So I decide to go into my Haxorus, and it digs it fairly nicely, so I can't complain. And then, unfortunately, he has the Hidden Power Ice, which it was in the back of my mind, but I don't know. I knew it wouldn't KO, so I thought he just might not have it. I don't know. So he goes on a Scizor now, and I know why. I'm locked into Outrage. So I probably should have went for the Earthquake there, so I could have switched out. But I wasn't confident it would KO. I don't know why. That was probably a stupid play. So I go into my Gastrodon now just to kind of bait a switch or a U-turn or something. Then I go right into my little super wall here, the Fortress. And I live with 7 HP, which is really cool. This thing is just not going to die anytime soon. So he has the burn and everything. So I'm going to switch out, hopefully predicting a Thunderbolt. But he makes a great prediction and goes for the Pain Split again. Imagine, though, if he went for the Pain Split while my Fortress is out there. He would have lost health, so he definitely made a good prediction. And I'm at yellow health again, which is never good. So he goes for a Clear Smog, which is the only move he has to hit me. So that's kind of unfortunate for him. Here I go for a Recover because if he gets a crit and then a burn, that'd be very unfortunate if I lose my Gastrodon. This thing's very vital and the only check I have to this Weezing right now. So here he's going to withdraw and go into Scizor. So he's at yellow health and goes down to red after the spikes. Now I'm going to go into the super wall again because it's a super wall. I mean, why not? It's a super wall. So he goes for the Roost and I'm like, no. So that was unfortunate. I went for the Rapid Spin because I actually thought that he'd go and U-turn out into Weezing. And I thought maybe if I got a crit or something I could get a Rapid Spin KO, but no. So he goes for the superpower, and I let him go for the superpower because that decreases attack, and that's just what I want. So I'm going to go out into Rawr, which is a Scarf Terrakion. I knew he'd Bullet Punch, but at the -1, I felt very safe taking one, and I take it, well, kinda nicely, I guess. And I go for the Stone Edge, which is neutral, and that KOs, which is good. So now he has this Weezing, and I feel confident that a Stone Edge could KO. But if I were to let someone win the game, I'd really want it to be this Gastrodon. So he goes for the Thunderbolt like I predicted, and I absorb that because, you know what, I'm a ground type, and ground types are cool. So we both are burned, which is kind of bad, but now he goes for the Pain Split, which is sharing our pain, of course. And I'm down to yellow health, and I decide to go for Scald because, you know what, Scalds are cool. Once again, everything's cool in this match. So we're about at the same amount of health, and I know he can't really Pain Split, because if he Pain Splits, he'll get little to nothing back. So he goes for a Clear Smog just to get even a little bit of damage. And he actually gets a crit, which is kind of funny. So go for a Scald, and almost takes him out. And after the burn, it should take him out, which is going to be, I think that's going to be game. So I think. And my Gastrodon lives with just red health. So yeah, that is game. It was a good game, Dragonite93. So rate, comment, subscribe, guys, and peace out.